In the name of God, who wants a beautiful life for all people, I am going to read a paper about the marriage of Iran and Iraq, and I am going to explain why Tehran is Iran and why the wife of Iran must be Iraq. It's because Tehran controls this geography, and the only way for Iran to look and the only way for Tehran to move, it's to Iraq. It faces Iraq and it needs Iraq. They are hand in hand. To lose Iraq for Iran would be to lose half of himself. So I'm going to show geographically, explain why that would be. I'm going to read a paper and I'm going to tell about secret information about the army amassing in Jordan that we wish would free the people of Syria and give everybody their homes and their rights back. And very connected with this, I'm going to show a history connected with my family. So here is my great-grandfather, Leo Berkman, and he was in Hitler's army. He was drafted to go into Hitler's army, and this is one of his drawings, and this is essentially how he made it out of World War II alive, how he lived through World War II 2 times. His ability to make these paintings saved his life or changed his life. So my mother's given me these. He can do oil paintings, but I have only these watercolors and this. I plan to change all of this wall for Syria. So I'd like to push the World War II and Leo and his beautiful history, push him here and put the new history, the history of Syria, here. And you can see, to make such a thing, all he has done is up, down, up, down, up, down, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's incredible that it brings alive. This is my favorite. And this one is the watercolors, and here is his name, Leo Berkman. And as you can see, this is one he has painted himself with the colors, and this was 1950. So 5 years after the war in Germany finished in World War II, and 3 years after he was out of the jail. He was in the prisoner of war camp. Leo was put in jail by the Americans in France, where he stayed 2 years in the jail. And this is when he got out and he was free back in Germany with his wife. And my mother's father, his son Leo. And the last one here that I have, it's a watercolor. In the name of God, who has given Basra to Tehran in an economic marriage forever, for all time, and who would use Tehran to make Basra glowing full of life and energy and economic power if he was a good and kind husband. Basra will thrive from the power of Tehran, and without him she is deeply malnourished. The water ways of the 5 seas are the center of the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 seas of the Middle East. And this is where all of the world lives here on this side of the world. If you travel this way, you will meet just an ocean and a very long travel. So the best way is not this way. The best way is this way. This is the best way, the fastest way, and this is the heart of the economy. And these are the 5 Cs. And this is the Hitler's X here, and his secret plans with Stalin and Mussolini in the Italy. This is it. So, and the meaning of this is the 100-year oil war. There is in the 1900s, we got cars. And when we got cars, it changed everything about the economy. And it made the gas pipelines the life power of the economy. And these are the roses for Damascus. On June 1, every able-bodied person in Damascus must walk with the roses to Sednaya prison and tell the handful of men there, open this gate. And we are not afraid that these people here will steal anything or do anything. We're not afraid. The economy is inseparable from the people who live in the city. You cannot separate economies from the population. The economies do not exist independently of populations. The 4 Cs, which are connected, there are 5 Cs, 4 are connected. They are the Arabian Sea, the Red Sea, the White Sea, and the Black Sea. These are connected. One, it's not connected. It is this one, not connected. The 4 Cs, they control the travel from the north, the south, the east, and the west. From across the Atlantic Ocean and across the Indian Ocean. It all wants to go this way and this way. The size of the Pacific Ocean, it makes travel across him unfavorable for trade. All of the trade from China, India, Australia, it must go westward. For the countries of the Far East to trade with the West, it is 7,000 kilometers across this ocean, Pacific. So he wants to go this way. For the countries of the Far East to trade with the West, it is 7,000 kilometers across the deep blue sea to reach California and the mountains of South America. This does not favor the growth of trade and inhabitation. For the countries of the Far East to trade with the West, it is 3,000 kilometers to cross the Indian Ocean, enter the 5 Seas, and reach all of the far west continents. The geography of the planet makes all of the eastern countries look to the Middle East as a trade route to travel to access the West. The West sees the Middle East as the trade route to access the Far East, and there is no superior path of travel for the convergence of the East and the West other than through the 5 Seas. The size of the Pacific Ocean makes it impossible to compete economically. with the Middle Eastern trade routes. 4 of the 5 seas of the Middle East are connected via waterways. To trade via the waterway along the blueprint for mankind's economy, we first arrive at the Arabian Sea. To travel, we first arrive to the Arabian Sea. All of the trade via the waterway from the Far East, it's focused into the Arabian Sea before he can see the horizon of the West. And all of the trade via land from the Far East, it's focused to the Caspian Sea before he can continue westward. And Basra is the pearl of the Arabian Sea. Tehran is the pearl of the Caspian Sea. We're talking about the pearl of the Arabian and the pearl of the Caspian. The first place you find when you come west. Tehran and the Caspian Sea are the only Tehran and the Caspian Sea it's the only pearl that is separated from the 4 seas. And Tehran, it's situated behind a mountain chain with elevations of 10,000 feet. The snow-capped mountains stop trade from flourishing. Tehran must focus all of his economy, his things, his energy, his travel, his vacations. He must focus it south and west. The mountains have guided the trade towards the shore of the Arabian Sea. This is the first water that he finds. And directly into the face of Basra, here. Tehran has controlled the eastern shores of the Arabian Sea because of how strong the economy of Tehran is. And because they get so big and so powerful that he can easily touch the shores and control him and stay on him, which is this one. This belongs to Tehran because of how big that city is and how powerful. Why is he powerful? The mountains. It has the iron needed for the cars. And that ocean has the gas needed for the cars. The mountains contain the endless supplies of iron for the city infrastructure, and the sea contains endless supplies of petroleum for the engines of technology, all technology, not only cars. Basra is the pearl of the Arabian Sea because she sits on the river delta on the shore of the Arabian Sea. Tehran is a powerful economic presence upon the Arabian Sea, and Basra is the soulmate of Tehran. When Basra is not in harmony with the economy of Tehran, Tehran has lost half of who he is. Tehran must have an economic marriage with Basra because of the shared power of the influence over this Arabian Sea. It makes them, this is their child. And I will leak you the news of a secret army amassing on the borders of Jordan. This is if everyone coming from the east is first going to meet these, is first going to have the faster, easier, the first place he touches. It will be here. And here is Iraq and Syria. And they are the rivers. And the rivers lead to the face of the Arabian Sea, which is, there is a brother here Kuwait and Kuwait City. And here is Tehran. So Tehran is powerful because it has the things you needed. Syria has phosphate and Iraq has gas, but Tehran has iron and gas, and that was everything they needed, and they were protected here by this mountain chain, which is thousands. I think perhaps these are not actually the 10,000 feet. These are smaller than, but Tehran is here. And because of this water, Tehran to come backwards is blocking the economy. It's blocking the life of the economy. So Iran must, every bit of life, it's this way. This is life. This is his soulmate. And there is a bad leader here. And the people of Tehran are suffering. They're being killed. This is the bad leadership. It's stopping all of the rights of the economy. This is the right. The economy is Tehran, not his leader. And this is the way. This is the only way. This is all he will ever see. Basra, Baghdad. And this is his power here. And this is the shore of Tehran. And his access. He faces all of the Arab kings. And it took all of them to control him. It absolutely would take every Arab king together to face Tehran, because it is 14 million people. And they have the supply of the resources here in the mountains. And so they are inseparable. And this bad leadership, it's everything. It's everything to us. And it must be different. The city must be free. The rulership of the city, it must be justice. And it can never for 1 minute have an injustice. So this next is the leaked news, which is about Syria and the border with Jordan. So here is Syria and here is Jordan. Syria, Jordan. So if we said there is an army here in Syria and Jordan, I mean, here is Israel and here is Gaza and here is Syria and here is Jordan. And they're telling us, we are hearing that there's armies preparing here, and we've known about this. Last year I told you that the Americans had a plan to try to destroy the Captagon trade for Assad, and that they wanted to drop bombs on the pharmacy for Assad to stop the factory, to stop him from making the Captagon. And focusing on Assad's drugs, when you have nuclear Iran mining out of Palmyra, getting all of this high quality uranium out of Palmyra's mines, and you were worried about some drugs for the people's health? No, you were not. And it's just, they have now we know the truth. It's not about the drugs. They've got an army here. We leak you this news in honor of the blood of martyrs, of the people, of the economy, of the population, of the city. The army is amassing at the borders of Jordan and Syria. There are the armies of Saudi Arabia, United States, Egypt, Jordan, and Pakistan. They have formed a coalition army with boots on the ground, preparing for a ground invasion in 60 days. What else? 60 days. So they are dropping bombs now. It will be no time. They will put them there and they will get ready to go. They will be searching for Iranian military targets in Syria. So the Pentagon press office has announced that they have airstrike packages that they will deliver to Syria with the B-1 airplane bombers for 1 week. So we did see this past week, we saw 1 day of strikes. And they were waiting to see what happened if they did this. So they are planning to continue if the airstrikes, if they see something they don't like. So maybe because we have not seen any more for 2 days, maybe they are feeling better, the Americans, and they said, oh, we don't need another package. The Pentagon announced that the strike packages, they are predetermined war plans with GPS coordinates of where to put what size bomb. How big is the bomb? Where is the GPS from every size bomb? So these are packages. And that they waited a small time to make the package because a computer software program was making up the packages. The computer, it's writing the packages, which bombs, how big, where. It's clear that this supercomputer software packages, this is what they were using in Israel for Gaza. This is what they're using in Gaza. They are using drones with a sniper. And they are using a computer to say, where are the journalists, and GPS the journalists with a bomb on the drone. So this is exactly the same. When you hear on the news that the journalists, 200 journalists are killed, and they're killed within 30 days. And then you hear the secret news, they're starting to say it on all across the international news that they have a computer program. They said it. And they said this computer program, it's GPSing people. It's monitoring the phone and it's GPSing them, the journalists, from something he said, one tweet, GPS, sending the drone with the package. And now the Pentagon, it's telling us in the press office that they have this in Syria for the Iran so they can find his leaders. So this is a new supercomputer super weapon. It has never been under the law of war. We have never written any laws of war from these sniper drones and GPS with bomber packages. They are showing us that this war, it's for people. This war, it's GPSing people, not military sites, not the airport, not the bases, not the security checkpoints. And They have not tried to stop the nuclear mining for Iran for the nuclear supply out of Palmyra. They have not stopped any cars from taking nuclear material out of Palmyra. Something they did not do to this day. And they did not go to Tehran to this day, and they did not go to Damascus, and they told us to stop going to Damascus. They told us that we cannot go. They stopped us from going to Damascus. All of the Iranian nuclear capacity is in the phosphate mines of Palmyra, Syria. Iran is extracting uranium from the high quality Syrian phosphate. Phosphate is very heavy and expensive to transport. It is economically beneficial to refine the phosphate into uranium near the mines. Why do you need move all of this heavy thing? You just mine it there and you make everything. You make it there. The government, it's to near the mines, then to ship the raw material. The government of Tehran has made his people suffer. And the Americans, the United States, has starved the people of Tehran with sanctions for decades. The Americans have destroyed the life of the people of Tehran, and so has the government, and they refuse to face each other. They need to be kicked out of Tehran. And the power struggle in the 5 C's of the Middle East, it's from bad leaders. The economies of the people are separate from this war of these dictators on this land. And this gas and this mountains, it's for us. It's for our population. And they are not targeting the war infrastructure. They are targeting us. And we want them to go to Tehran and stop this. And God, protect the life of the people of the Middle East and allow their homes to be full of the green color of your plant kingdom, which has all the food and the vegetables, and to give them the water needed for the life of this world, and make them beautiful and adorn them with the all of the raw materials of the trade that powers the economies of mankind. And do not allow the governments to close the borders in the heart of the world, closing the borders in the heart of the world and steal the life of the people. God, don't allow it. Allahu Akbar. Your loving daughter, Catherine Alwan, written on February 3 of 2024. And this is a message to Ahmed al-Shara and your company in the business in Idlib. Release the Prince Abu Maria al-Qahtani. Release him. Send him, let him free immediately. And the families of the first 3 princes, which you said came from the revolution of Iraq, who are the founding fathers. They are all the founding fathers of the Syrian revolution. Send him free. Allahu Akbar.